Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
I call the regular meeting of the Milliken Board of Trustees for April 26, 2023 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the town clerk please call roll?
Trustee Beckman.
Here.
Trustee Dean.
Here.
Trustee Lane.
Here.
Trustee Meisner.
Here.
Trustee Wakeman.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
Here.
Mayor Austin.
Here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone have any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve the agenda as printed.
Second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Dean.
Yes.
Trustee Lane.
Yes.
Trustee Meisner.
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman.
Yes.
Trustee Beckman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Do I have any citizens' comments? Citizens' comment is a point in the meeting where the public is invited to address the town board on any item except agenda items for which there's a public hearing. Public comment on public hearing items will occur during the scheduled public hearing. All comments should be directed to the town board. There's a 3-minute limit per speaker. Please approach the podium. State your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name's Cynthia Lawson, and I live at 140 Bobcat Drive in Wildcat Acres. And I'd like to address the board tonight on a problem that we've had several years, actually, continuing. We own a property at 309 South Grace, and for several years we've had trouble with people in and out, trash all over the place, garbage. For instance, right now there are couches and trash, four-wheelers, tables, wood scrapes, coolers, etc., all over the front yard. There's a trailer in the backyard that people are living in. Some of the windows are boarded up. The dog's running loose. And I guess it came to light when we were thinking about selling the property, and our real estate agent said she wouldn't list it for the value. She would list it $30,000 less than what it's worth because of the house next door. So I'm here to plead for help. I have contacted several times Officer Menendez, and I get no cooperation from him. I've actually met with him in person also, and he promises to get back with me, and he just hasn't. So I don't know what our next step can be. I've talked to the people who live there, and whoever I get, if I catch them outside, they'll talk to me and they'll say they don't live, I mean, they live there, but they don't own it. And I can't figure out who actually owns the property. Maybe I could look it up at this county. I'm not sure how to do that, or the state, but I don't know what to do now, and we're just not getting any help. And I believe there's a handout that you can look at the pictures just to give you a fraction of the idea of what we've been living with for a long time. I would just appreciate any help we could get.
Okay. One moment. Do board members have any questions of Mrs. Lawson? Okay. I think we clearly understand the issue. Town Administrator Powell, could you take a look at this situation and follow up for us?
Absolutely will.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank
Town
you very much.
Administrator Powell is your contact, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments from the public? Alrighty, I have, citizens' comment is closed, and I have an Arbor Day proclamation to read. All right, for Arbor Day, Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable source giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas Milliken has been a tree city for 20 years. Now, therefore, I, Elizabeth Austin, Mayor of the town of Milliken, do hereby proclaim May 5th, 2023 as Arbor Day in the town of Milliken, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support the efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Thank you. I will sign that right after the meeting. Okay. Is there any discussion or comments on the meeting minutes of April 12th, 2023? I'll take a motion.
I move we approve the minutes of April 12th, 2023 as written.
I second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Trustee Miesner,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Dean,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Do I have any comment on the paid list of bills? Any questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the town administrator's report. Administrator Powell.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So our streets and parks crews have been working around town, aerating and fertilizing parks areas and cleaning out storm drainage inlets in preparation for the rain we received and more to come, I hope. Not a lot at once, though. The concrete and asphalt repairs where the water breaks had occurred have been completed. A lot of staff today were part of the GIS training, and so it was members of the streets crew, I believe, and water wastewater that were a part of this training. Windmill Park will be the town's park for the year for Arbor Day, so we'll be planting some trees in that park and some evergreens as well.
Okay,
Staff will be meeting with Johnstown staff on May 17th to discuss the Hillsborough change case and the direction we're going to be going in on that. So I'll keep you updated on what occurs from that meeting. We've also met with Journey Homes engineers to discuss the best alignment of the utility infrastructure to serve the Flag Farm property. So we've met with them a few times. This time they met on site with some of our staff and just trying to find the most efficient and best way for them to receive our services. So. Also, ALA will be presenting Milliken's Phase 1 and 2 to their board for final approval, and they are hoping for a definite go later this week or early next week. So I will let you know as soon as I do. Also, we received the official letter from Weld County regarding the CDBG grant award. The commissioners approved where these grant funding fund amounts will be going to, and so we received the official letter today. And that's all I have. Any questions?
questions from the board?
I have one.
Yes.
Do you have any update from Waste Management on pickup of the trash and recycle.
I'm sorry, you're not going to laugh, but you have to have been in the town hall all week. We've had a lot of trash calls. So they should be have everything picked up by the end of the week, is my understanding. Wade, correct me?
This isn't necessarily an update. This is the same information we've been giving out since, I don't know, the first week of April. So Waste Management will be continuing to pick up, remove the trash bins, recycle bins from town through the rest of this week. Their intent was to have them all removed from the customers' residences by the end of the week. They're staging them elsewhere, and they may not get them removed from there, but their plan is to get them out of the neighborhoods by the end of the week. Along with that, Waste Connections' goal is to have all of the new bins delivered by the end of this week. I think that they're really close to being done, is my understanding. Yeah.
I got mine today.
Did you? Good.
Yeah.
But you still have your Waste Management one?
Yes, and, it's causing a lot of buzz. People are wondering because they thought they were going to be picked up. My other question is, so my understanding is west of Quintin, pickup is Thursday and the east is
Mondays.
Monday? What about if you're on Quintin?
Well, you're either on one side of it or the other.
Yep.
Okay.
So Quintin is the dividing area.
The middle of Quintin is the dividing line.
Yeah. So if you're on the east side of Quintin, it'll be Mondays. If you're on the west side of Quintin, it'll be Thursdays.
Yeah.
So that'll include Frigg Farms, the Valley, Meadow Farms, Peregrine Creek, Wildcat Acres, Mad Russian,
So if
and
you
Miller.
live on Quintin, if you're on the east side, you're
Yes.
Mondays and west side is
West side is
Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I've got a quick question. On the next newsletter, is there going to be like a breakdown of the savings that our residents are going to be getting by going with the new waste company?
No, because it's on an individual basis, whether you have trash or trash and recycling or, and so we can put the rates, the rates are going to be published tomorrow once, if they're approved tonight by you guys, but someone will call in. We've gotten the calls this last week. Oh, well, I don't have recycling. What's my rate? And they don't understand that it's the trash piece. If you don't have recycling, it's just this much. And so I don't intend to put that in the newsletter because it'll be available, if approved, it'll be available on the website tomorrow.
Okay.
We post the rates on the fines and fee schedule pretty immediately.
Is it going to be, will the old waste company, we'll just put out a, thank you for your business over the years and we were happy to serve you. Is a new waste company going to be putting out, anything?
I don't know that they are. I'm not sure why they necessarily would need to.
I was just curious because I was just surprised I hadn't received anything in the mail from them saying, hey, we're glad to be your new waste removal guys, and just a reminder, this is what goes in recycling and this isn't, and that kind of a thing,
Yeah.
Possibly.
There may be something coming, but we don't
Nice
know.
shiny blue thing.
You got a new trash can.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was just curious.
Yeah, and they may do that, but once again, that's why we contract with them, because I don't need to micromanage what they do.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And if we're saving money, I guess I don't care that much if we get a letter or not, but,
Yeah. That's the reason you're saving money, is you're not getting a letter.
There's some.
They're going to send you an additional bill for 60 cents.
yeah. All right. No further questions.
And I apologize, Trustee Wakeman, for laughing. If you had been in the office this week, part of last week and this week, it's been a lot of these phone calls, so.
I thought you
Poor
might
Audrey.
get it, yes.
Audrey deserves a gold medal when this is all over. She has been incredibly kind and patient with all the calls she's received, so. And I hear every one of them because I'm right there.
Yeah. I was surprised we were split on 2 days. And I thought that might add some grief for you guys.
Well, part of it was, and we've been trying to follow the Facebook pages and the postings.
Yes.
And somebody thought it was just Frank Farms that was just going to be picked up on Thursday, and they thought it was kind of weird. So I don't a lot of times get on there and respond to some of these things, depending on what it is. And I did break it down for them that it's not just Frank Farms. There's multiple subdivisions that are going to be falling into that.
Yes.
So.
Alrighty, invigorating talk about our trash service.
We've been talking a lot of trash lately.
Yes.
We do not have anything on our consent agenda, so we'll move right into the action agenda. The first item is a public hearing to consider and make recommendation on a site plan for Shalestone Milliken Corporate Center. Presenting is Pepper McClanahan, our Community Development Director, and since this is a public hearing, the time is 6:48, and I am opening the public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. Before you tonight is a public hearing to consider a site plan for an 8,950 square foot building to be used for office space and a workshop and maintenance area. It's on an area of a 4.5 acre portion of a lot, which is actually a lot larger. It's closer to 21 acres. It's located in the Milliken Corporate Center Replat A, which is located east of Weld County Road 23 3/4 and north of Center Drive. It is currently vacant. The applicant is also requesting a reduction to the required landscaping totals, which I'll cover in a little bit later in the report. Again, this is for a shop and also for office space. There'll be about 2,500 square feet of office space and about 6,450 square feet of shop. It's going to be used for oil and gas water solutions, so it will not be water pipe, it will be oil pipe, it will be water pipe. The number of employees is estimated to be between 5 and 10, with a total number of daily visitors between 10 and 20. In the area, it is zoned medium industrial, as are most of the lots surrounding it. They're either developed as industrial or some heavy retail uses, with the exception of across County Road 48, or Ash, which is a Bernhardt Dairy Farm, and it is zoned agricultural. Notice was published and 300-foot property owner notices were sent. The property was also posted with the sign. Staff won't read the findings of fact, but we'll submit that as part of the record. We do find that it does meet those. The landscaping plan requires 15% of the project, looking at the project area, which would be 28,391 square feet. They're requesting a reduction to 6% of the site, which would be 11,432 square feet, and a reduction in the number of shrubs required from 76 to 59 in order to reduce water demand. Staff recommends approval of the site plan. I will note, I'm sorry, before I even started, there is a revised report on your desk. There was one typo that was caught, and then kind of revisions in the suggested motions. So staff recommends approval of site plan and landscaping reduction requested by the subject property, with the following conditions of approval: that proof of 2 units of Colorado Big Thompson water and commencement of raw water dedication process with the Northern Colorado Water Conservancy District be demonstrated prior to issuance of the building permit. Raw water dedication must be completed prior to issuance of the certificate of occupancy. Number 2, prior to issuance of the building permit, payment of the recovery fee for Center Drive for the lineal footage of Lot 1, Block 1, Milliken Corporate Center, Replat A must be received. A mailbox shall be installed on the property and outside of the right-of-way of Center Drive to the specifications of the United States Postal Service. The following requirements, I won't read them all, but they have to do with hydrants from the Front Range Fire and Rescue, and that they need to be as specified by the town of Milliken and FRFR. The Planning Commission conducted a public hearing on April 19th. The hearing was attended by representatives of the applicant. I will note that they recently changed the name on the property. It was formerly DND LLC. It is now Colorado NNN LLC. There were no other participants at the hearing, and the Planning Commission voted to recommend approval of the site plan and the landscaping reduction to the Board of Trustees. I do note that there's a representative of the applicant here. I'm happy to answer any questions about the staff report or the attachments.
Okay, let's start with questions from the board, starting with Trustee Beckman. Any questions?
No.
Trustee Wakeman?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Trustee Lane?
I was just curious. I noticed, I think it's the same property. There was all sorts of dirt work and there's equipment and stuff that was going on before we knew any of this, and then it all stopped. Can you fill us in a little bit about what was going on there prior to us knowing what was,
Certainly. The application was submitted in-house. It was, a mistake by the, a misunderstanding by the property owner that they could start doing some grading work. So we did go out there and let them know that we needed to wait, and so that was shut down.
Okay. Thank you.
Trustee Meisner?
No questions.
Trustee Dean?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
I have no questions.
Okay. Do we have any public comment? Anything anybody would like to address the board? Please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record, please, Mr. Bernhardt. We don't know who you are.
Madam Mayor, trustees, David Bernhardt, 23809 Well County Road 25, Milliken. My main concern, I really don't have any main concerns, but as the property develops further to the west, we have irrigation system that delivers water to our properties to the north. That's my main concern, is that I don't have any.
Does it have that overhead spray thing?
No, it's just an irrigation ditch that takes the water from the Big Thompson Platte River Ditch Company, which is on the south side of that property, and then we have two head gates and two ditches that cross the property. And those ditches were probably there since the early 1900s, or even in the late 1800s. So they've been there a while. So they're pretty much, but I noticed on the plats and stuff, it is listed as an outlot. So, thank you.
So you're concerned about your ditches, and we've got that addressed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Bernhardt? Thank you very much for coming down. Hello.
Hi, my name is Todd Drago with Colorado NNN LLC. I'm an agent for them. I was just here to take any questions from anybody that they might have any.
No, welcome to Milliken. I do like the reduction in landscaping, conserving water approach. So I will say that is my comment. I don't like to see wasted water, so.
Yeah, we're kind of in the same boat there too. It's not a matter of actually doing the landscaping we're worried about. We're worried about the actual community as well, water and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no question.
Anybody got anything? Oh. Okay, well, thank you for coming down, even though we don't have any questions for you.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good thing. Maybe.
Any other commentary or questions? All right, the time is 6:56, and I'm going to close the public hearing. And if there's no further discussion, I'll take a vote on the matter. A motion on the matter before we take a vote.
I move to conditionally approve the site plan and landscaping reduction for an 8,950 square foot building on a 4.5 acre area of Lot 1, Block 1, Milliken Corporate Center, Replat A, subject to the conditions as outlined by staff.
I second.
Thank you. Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman? Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right. Next item on the agenda is the public hearing for the adoption of resolution number 2307, a resolution to update the fines and fee schedule. Presenting will be Wade Nickerson, Finance Director. The time is 6:57, and I'm opening this public hearing.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees. This public hearing is to approve an update to our fine and fee schedule. The resolution covers this fine and fee schedule where we're updating the court fees. We had some court costs that were never included on this fee schedule, and so we want to get those included. It realigns the refuse collection fees with the new contract with Waste Connections. That means that they're going down, just so everybody's clear. And then the last piece is we're updating Section 16 on the fine and fee schedule to match the land use code that was updated, just making sure that titles read the same and that type of thing. The budget implications are, these costs, these fine changes will offset some of the expenditures in the general fund as well as the trash fund, and we recommend approval. And I can take questions.
Okay, questions from the board, starting with Trustee Dean.
No questions.
Trustee Wakeman?
So on the court fee changes, according to what I see, it doesn't show us what was an increase, decrease. Is there?
So on that sheet, the yellow highlighted piece are things that we added to the fee schedule. They weren't increased and they weren't decreased. They were added to the fee schedule.
So they didn't exist before.
Yeah, they've been. Sorry, go ahead. Town attorney.
So this followed some discussion with the judge about where the fees should be set and approved. I think historically there's been a fee schedule that the judge has imposed, and we just decided that it would be a good idea to get the board approval of those fees. So it's somewhat of a clerical matter.
I see. Thank you.
Trustee Lane?
I have no questions.
Trustee Meisner?
I have no questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
No questions.
I have no questions either. Did we have questions from Trustee Beckman? Okay. Lost track of who I was asking. Do we have any comments from the public on the fine and fee schedule change? Nobody running up there, so thank you very much, Mr. Nickerson. And the time is 7 o'clock. I'm closing the public hearing. I will now take a motion on the matter.
I move to adopt a resolution number 23-07. I'm adopting the fee schedule with changes to sections 2, 6, and 16. I'm effective May 1st of 2023.
Second.
Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay. Next item on the agenda is authorization of the mayor to sign a construction agreement with Coyote Ridge Construction, LLC, John Ravis, Streets and Facilities Director.
Good evening. On this project here for Cherry Street, the scope of the work has not changed. During the last board meeting, I made an error in the last agenda packet. I ended up inserting Alpine Civil's cost instead of Coyote Ridge Construction. And the difference in the total cost would be $2,950.
So you're looking for us to either change it to Alpine or just approve Coyote Ridge for the extra $2,000?
Just go originally with Coyote Ridge Construction.
Just approve it, okay. Just clarification. Okay, questions from board members. Trustee Meisner?
No questions.
Trustee Lane?
No questions.
Trustee Wakeman?
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Beckman? No, thank you. Trustee Dean?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
No questions.
Okay, I don't have any either, so thank you very much. I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to authorize the mayor to sign a construction agreement with Coyote Ridge Construction LLC for the construction of the Cherry Street improvement project for $1,812,419.75.
Second it.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Beckman? Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item is consideration and adoption of resolution number 23-08, a resolution opposing Senate bill. Yes, I'm sorry.
Mayor, you were going to have John for the item on that we were going to speak to you, the board
I
about
thought
at
you
the
wanted
work
me to put it
session.
on the discussion agenda.
Okay.
No, we can do it now if you want. Hold on, Ms. McClanahan, we're going to do something else. Okay, John Rabus has an issue that he'd like to present to us.
I'd like to get a recommendation from the board. Before you is Milliken and Mead joint concrete replacement bid results. Burnt Mountain Services was the low bidder. And off this, to the first right-hand column, there is Milliken's cost at $195,177.70. And I thought the bids were extremely high. MPC, who just currently done some concrete work and asphalt replacement for us along Broad Street due to the water leaks, I contacted them and they gave us a price per linear foot of $59.09. And Burnt Mountain Services, their linear footage price is $80.70. So there's a difference of $21.61 a linear foot. And I'd recommend to go back out and go for another round of bids on the project.
Did they do a quality job when they did our?
They did.
Just a quick question, John. So if we go out for bid on this, are we going to go out with it or with Mead, or are we just going to do this on our own?
Are we going to alert Mead that?
No, this is, what was that?
Mead knows the price, and I believe they're okay with it.
Right, Mead's okay with the cost, because Mead's cost was a lot cheaper than when ours came in at, just because of the type of concrete work.
So they were going to go ahead with Burnt Mountain Services?
Right.
Wow, I'm sorry, but $44,000 is a lot of money. Open discussion from the board. I'm not calling off each person's name. Commentary?
I just want to mention that our financial policies allow us to reject all bids and resubmit for new bids. So everybody knows we're following policies.
This is a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. $44,000 is $44,000. I think you get the feeling of the board, we're not interested in wasting taxpayer money.
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we know for sure that, I'm sorry, I forgot the names of the companies, that the company that you got the low bid from, they will submit a bid for us?
Yes, they will.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sorry for the delay. Now we'll do action item number D. Consideration and adoption of resolution number 2308, resolution opposing Senate Bill number 23213, Pepper McClanahan, Community Development Director, but
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. This has been a very fast-moving bill, very fast. I've sat in via recording to several committee meetings, including the Local Government and Housing Committee last week and several of the Senate Appropriation Committee meetings, including one this morning, where 2 amendments were proposed to this bill, one of which I think would have favored us greatly, another of which removes some of the more egregious restrictions and oversight, but doesn't remove them all. And so hot off the presses at 5:58 p.m. tonight, we got an action alert from CML on this bill. They are now encouraging municipalities to back it based on the amendment that was approved at the Senate Appropriations Committee this morning. So with your indulgence, I'll just kind of hit the highlights of this application. So just for transparency, the next steps, CML says that it's consistent with CML's advocacy on this bill, and CML has indicated that it will switch its positions of opposed to one of support if the sponsors and Governor Polis commit to maintaining the amendments and removal of preemptions, which is what happened with the amendment L73 this morning. CML urges members to consider taking the same position in the spirit of collaboration and partnership, and immediately reach out to your senators and representatives to show your support for the bill. So here's some of the key provisions. DOLA will perform a variety of tasks. The original bill pretty much changed DOLA from a supporting agency for municipalities to a regulatory agency, which was not their original mission. However, they're going to maintain a little bit of that with this amendment. They'll be conducting statewide, regional, and local housing needs assessments and providing guidance for municipalities to create local housing needs plans. Conducting a displacement. Displacement is very broadly defined in this bill. It can be anything from, a change of housing prices that displaces people. Some of the challenges that I have with this is a lot of this isn't under our control. It's up to local landowners. It's up to the market conditions. So I still think there's some major issues with this bill, even as amended. DOLA will also be conducting a displacement assessment and providing guidance to mitigate the risk, creating menus for affordable housing strategies that municipalities must select from, and creating their housing needs plans with no set, and there's no set minimum required, creating state strategic growth objectives, and a natural and agricultural land priorities report and a water supply forecast, which we're already pretty much working on a water supply forecast, and conducting compliance reviews of the plans. So in a nutshell, we are required as a municipality to adopt a housing plan by June of 2024. And the impacts that we're going to have on this is obviously we're in the middle of our comp plan right now, which I'll report to you on later. It's on the agenda. It is going to mean that, we're going to have to make some changes there. Some of the preemptions that were removed from the bill, preemptions meaning local authority, include requirements that certain municipalities follow a state-issued model code, or modify local laws to allow accessory dwelling units and middle housing as a use by right, where single-family housing is allowed, and multifamily housing as a use by right near fixed rail stations and key corridors. We don't have fixed rail stations, but as key corridors is defined, we might need some of those. The amendment also removes substantial parts of the legislative declarations that attempt to establish traditional local matters as being, quote, mixed state and local concern. So they're restoring the more of the authority back to local governments. The amendment also removed provisions concerning common interest communities and water loss audit verification. So there were a lot of things covered in this under the guise of affordable housing. One of our representatives made the point this morning in the committee that it doesn't really say how it's going to create affordable housing. It puts a lot of onus, in my opinion, on DOLA and municipalities to try to bring this into fruition, but it doesn't really say how this legislation does that. There's not really any metrics. So it's up to you. I can answer questions to the best of my ability. The bill's like 105 pages long, and it's been amended, like I said. The Housing Committee, Local Government and Housing Committee passed 6 or 7 amendments last week. And then, of course, this other large one today. So I've been trying to keep up and drinking from the fire hose. We do have time for public comment. We do have time to participate in hearings, and I'll be pushing information out to you as that becomes available. I believe there's 2 more readings before it passes out of the Senate, and then it will go to the House before it goes to the governor. I will note, time is short. The legislative session ends on May 8th.
Well, first, how are the farmers being addressed in this? I mean, when they say state strategic growth objectives, natural and agricultural land priorities report, sounds like a land grab or they're gonna, the water supply forecast, I see our farmers being impacted by this, and I don't know how, are they informed, do you think? Do they know what's happening?
That was one of the points that our senator made from our area, was that, this amendment, L73, was given to the Appropriations Committee 36 hours before their meeting this morning that started about 8:30. So they did, it was, again, they're drinking from the fire hose as well. But one of her points was that this amendment was not vetted through transparency in the public process. And they recommended that they, send this back to the local jurisdictions to get additional input from citizens. The bill wasn't even introduced until March 19th, I think. It's been moving really quick. So I'm not sure what that means. I can definitely get some more information out to you. I was looking because I did do a little bit of a transcript of some of the information that was presented today, but those concerns were shared by our senator.
This is very concerning. We're an agricultural community, and even though the farms are not necessarily within the town of Milliken, we share common goals, and I think those farmers need to be notified as well. This is concerning.
Do you mind if I ask a question,
Yes.
Mayor Austin? So it's really 2 questions. First of all, kudos to Pepper for being on top of this. The interesting thing is that CML appears to have changed its position and announced that at 5:48 p.m. today. So this was originally put on the agenda as a motion to oppose, and my question is, are we still at that point where we would want the board to consider a motion to oppose? And the second question is there time to wait until the next meeting to decide whether to oppose or support?
I believe the answer to the first question is I'm mixed. I know that CML and other entities fought hard to get these preemptions removed from the original bill. If we don't support it, is there a chance that it'll revert back to the more onerous original bill that really strips local municipalities from land use control and planning? So I'll leave that up to you. I'm mixed, but knowing where this bill started out, if CML thinks we should support this with the preemptions removed, we probably should follow. In answer to your second question, which was?
Time.
Oh, time. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the board meets again at the regular meeting until after the legislature closes. So, because the session ends on the 8th. So we don't have a lot of time. Nobody did, obviously. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I don't think this amendment removes, as the information from CML says, as of 6 o'clock tonight, it removes some of the more aggressive, but it doesn't remove them all. No. And one of the things that disturbs me, and this is not advocating against supporting this with the amendments, one of the things that concerns me is this amendment added a committee, kind of an oversight committee. Let's see if I can find that real quick. It's called the Multi-Agency Advisory Committee. And they're creating this within the Department of, within DOLA. They're going to be a type 2 entity. I'm not sure what that means. But they have a number of tasks, and the appointments are primarily, as our representative pointed out, they're not subject matter experts, was her point. They're not local people for the most part. And they're all appointed, they're either already within the legislative group, or they're appointed by the governor, or they're appointed by the House and the Senate leaders. So that's kind of concerning, but again, given where this started out, I don't know if that's, pardon the expression, the hill we want to die on.
So 105-page bill introduced March 19th. There's a lot of hidden agendas in there, and I'll just flat make a motion that we oppose this Senate Bill 23-213 with resolution number 23-08.
I second.
Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Dean.
Yes.
Trustee Lane.
Yes.
Trustee Meisner.
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman.
Yes.
Trustee Beckman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I do think that we need to see what we can do about notifying the local agricultural community about this issue. I think they want to be told how to use their land either, and about the water. The water is the most concerning. Okay.
Thank you, Pepper.
Thank you. The rest of the reports are written on the informational agenda. Was there anything on the comprehensive plan that we need to know about in particular?
Yes, Mayor. And trustees, I included the project schedule on the very last page. I just wanted to let you know we are moving along. We are actually on task 6 of 6. And there's a few things in task 5 that they're still working on. They're drafting the body of the text now, all the chapters, and they presented an outline of the major elements of the plan, the land use elements of the plan, and the maps at the steering committee meeting at the 1st of March. And so as soon as I've asked them not to wait to push that out as one block, I've asked them that as they get those chapters drafted to push them out to staff so we can proof it, turn it around, and get it out to people to review. So we are on task to finish by our deadline of the grant. We may need to incorporate a few more things after May 8th, and we'll just kind of see how that rolls, but there will be some changes from that bill, regardless of whether it passes with the amendment or not. I will let you know that in a town hall meeting with CML, the question was asked, what's the likelihood that the governor is going to sign this bill? And the response from the CML reps on the phone was, let me put it to you this way, you don't devote half of your State of the State address to a topic that you don't intend to sign a bill.
So how many pages are we looking at here on this comp plan approximately? Is it like 400 pages?
It's an update, so it shouldn't be 400 pages, but I anticipate that it could be, I mean, I don't really know, I can get that to you. I would estimate 150 maybe, that's probably high end.
That's going to take a little while to read, so if we can get it out in chapters to the board to even do a preliminary review, it would be appreciated.
We'll do, that's our plan. Thank you.
Board members have any requests on the comp plan? Board members have any committee reports? Nothing?
Nothing new.
What? Okay, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're out for the night. Thank you very much. I've got documents to sign.